This may be controversial, but a single map completely redefined how we see the world. And I promise, once you hear this story, you will never look at a world map the same way again. This isn't just about geography, it's about revolutionizing an entire paradigm. Let's rewind to the early 16th century. The age of exploration was booming. Adventurous sailors were charting new territories and opening routes to unknown lands. But with all that exploration came conflicting reports. What did the world actually look like? No one could agree. Maps were fragmented and incredibly biased to European-centric perspectives, skewing reality whether due to politics, religion, or mere speculation. Enter Martin Waldseemüller. You've probably never heard his name, but he's the man behind one of the most important artifacts in human history, the Waldseemüller map, created in 1507. What made this map so revolutionary? For the first time in recorded history, it depicted the Americas as a separate continent. But wait, this gets even more interesting. Waldseemüller didn't just sketch a landmass. He actually named the Americas. Yes, believe it or not, our continents owe their name to this map. Why call it the Americas? Waldseemüller was inspired by Amerigo Vespucci. Vespucci, an Italian explorer, had written accounts claiming that the lands across the Atlantic weren't extensions of Asia, as originally thought, but an entirely new world. These writings were groundbreaking. Waldseemüller and his colleagues decided to honor him by naming these lands America. At the time, it didn't seem like a big deal. What's in a name, right? But names hold power, power that reverberates to this day. Here's the twist. Despite its innovation, the Waldseemüller map was also controversial. Not everyone believed Vespucci's claims. The idea of new continents flew in the face of accepted geographic knowledge. Ptolemy's maps had dominated for over 1,000 years, shaping worldviews specifically tailored to a Greco-Roman framework. To challenge this was akin to heresy. Waldseemüller's map wasn't just a work of cartography, it was a declaration of intellectual rebellion. Let's pause for a minute to let that sink in. A map, a simple piece of parchment covered with lines, symbols, and text, had the audacity to redefine the shape of the globe, shift power dynamics, and even challenge deeply entrenched ideologies. It's mind-blowing. So how did this map gain influence? It wasn't just sitting in a drawer. Waldseemüller and his team printed 1,000 copies. The original was painstakingly drawn, but it was intended for mass distribution. A bold move for the early 1500s. Knowledge was growing and spreading faster than ever, thanks to another revolutionary invention just a few decades earlier, the printing press. The timing couldn't have been better. The map's accuracy was striking, especially for its time. Waldseemüller employed the latest information from explorers, blending new discoveries with traditional cartographic methods. To modern eyes, the outlines may seem crude, but for people in the 16th century, it was cutting edge. But maps are inherently political, and no one knew this better than European monarchs. The Waldseemüller map represented potential riches and new opportunities for conquest, colonization, and trade. Fast forward a bit. Here's an interesting layer to this story. A few years after the map was created, Waldseemüller started having doubts about Amerigo Vespucci's claims. He removed the name America from subsequent maps. That's right, the man who named our continent had second thoughts about his decision. But the legacy had already been cemented. Copies of the 1507 map had already spread across Europe. It was too late. The name America was here to stay. And here's a fun fact. Out of the original 1,000 copies, only one has survived to this day. Just one. It's kept at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., a testament to its historical importance. The map is massive, over 4 feet tall and 7 feet wide when fully assembled. Seeing it in person is like staring at the birth certificate of modern geography. Now, let's talk about the impact of this groundbreaking map beyond its name. Waldseemüller's depiction helped catalyze further exploration. It challenged assumptions, inspired innovators, and motivated governments to fund more voyages. Imagine being Christopher Columbus or Ferdinand Magellan and holding this map, every curve, every label urging you onward into the mysterious unknown. This one piece of parchment fueled some of the greatest expeditions in human history. But like all things influential, it wasn't without its dark side. Remember, maps aren't just records of geography. They're tools of power. The Waldseemüller map made the New World tangible to European monarchs and conquistadors. Its publication coincided with the rise of colonial empires that would drastically reshape indigenous cultures, economies, and ecosystems. Entire civilizations were impacted. Some thrived under these new connections, while others were catastrophically destroyed. So when we look at this map, we're not just seeing a representation of Earth, we're seeing the seeds of globalization, for better or worse. Have you ever wondered why North and South America were called this, and not Colombia after Columbus? Waldseemüller's decision is the reason. It's fascinating how something that starts as a scholarly gesture can ripple through history and leave this massive footprint. So, why does this matter today? We live in an age defined by maps. Think about GPS. Maps guide us and influence our decisions every day. But more importantly, they shape how we view the world. The Waldseemüller map did exactly that over 500 years ago. It asked people to accept a revolutionary concept, that there were lands, peoples, and opportunities beyond Europe's borders. It challenged old paradigms and forced humanity to think bigger. The next time you glance at a map, remember this. It's not just a reference tool, it's a story, a catalyst of change and a reflection of human aspirations. And in that vast tapestry of cartographic history, the Waldseemüller map stands as one of the brightest stars. Who would have thought that a 16th century scholar, armed with quills and ink, could reimagine the very fabric of our world? And here's the takeaway. Every time we challenge an existing perspective, every time we dare to think differently, we're creating our own version of the Waldseemüller map. So what will your map be? What will you name? Where will your imagination take you next? Together, let's keep questioning, exploring, and mapping out new horizons. Because that's how history is made.